Look, if you're watching this, chances are you're just like me. You're a young, faith-driven entrepreneur trying to figure out how to make the most out of every opportunity life throws your way. You're hustling, grinding, and doing whatever it takes to level up. But let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're just spinning your wheels? Like no matter what you do, you're stuck in the same spot. I've learned the hard way. There are 7 habits that if left unchecked will guarantee your failure. Today, we're gonna break those down because if you avoid these traps, I promise your life and your business will never be the same. Listen, the first way to guarantee failure is to stop learning. Growth stops the moment you stop learning. I was recently reading a John Maxwell book, and John Maxwell is one of the most successful coaches, speakers, former pastor on leadership. And one of the most crucial things he said is growth stops the moment you stop learning. I remember early in my journey, I had received a couple big checks and I was on top of the world. I felt like I was the man. And then a couple months later, I got humbled. And why did I get humbled? It's because I stopped learning. Albert Einstein even said, once you stop learning, you start dying. If I can give you one actionable tip on this, make learning a daily habit. I personally love the book, Developing the Leader Within You. Whether you're a CEO, founder, entrepreneur, or guess what? You're just an employee. You are a leader in some capacity. You have the power to influence others around you. And so if you read the book, Developing the Leader Within You, I guarantee you'll learn life-changing habits, tactics, strategies. And if you implement, your life will change. Second way to guarantee failure is to be inconsistent. Consistency beats intensity. Being all in for one day is useless if you don't show up tomorrow. Inconsistency inevitably delayed my early success. I literally remember I had started my business and I would make my sales calls. I would make like 10 calls a day and then I would literally go play video games. That's what I would do. I was inconsistent. So I was working about 2 hours a day, and then between calls, I would have calls scheduled on my calendar. Okay, between calls, I'm just playing video games. I'm not reviewing calls. I'm not making more calls. I'm not doing other things to generate business. I'm not doing anything that helps me grow. Instead, I'm playing video games. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says success is not always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. One of the verses I love from the Bible about this is James 1:8, and it says that double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Basically what it's saying is if you're on one side, you're partying, you're drinking, you're sleeping around, and then the other way, you're trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to grow, trying to improve, trying to build good relationships, trying to build your business, trying to build a community of like-minded peers and mentors, you'll be unstable in all your ways. Instead, focus on building consistent, small daily habits. Don't rely on motivation, rely on discipline. I love that so much. And listen, motivation is not bad, but it doesn't last. Discipline does. The third way to guarantee you fail is one that I have struggled with so much because everything I do, I want to be all in. I want to be the best. I want to go at it with all I have. And this is to expect 100% or nothing. The reality is the all or nothing mindset leads to burnout and paralysis. I remember for 6 months before I actually started a business, I was running around in circles trying to see, man, how do I perfect every single thing in this business, which by the way doesn't exist yet, before I start it. And Winston Churchill says perfection is the enemy of progress. Instead of focusing on perfection, focus on progress. Learn to celebrate the small wins. And the fourth way to guarantee failure is to not challenge yourself. Staying in your comfort zone is a slow path to failure. Growth requires discomfort. For the first 18 years of my life, I was obese. I had made no money. I had no purpose, no calling, no nothing. And it's because I would go to therapy, I would go to school, and I would come home and sleep the rest of the day. I became comfortable. I didn't challenge myself. I didn't grow. Neale Donald Walsch once said, and I love this quote so much, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. 2022, I hit rock bottom and the pain of staying the same overcame the pain of change. And since then, I've made over 6 figures in 6 months. I've shed over 80 pounds of weight, of fat. I've found God. I've surrounded myself with great mentors, peers, mentees, etc. And so instead of being in your comfort zone, I challenge you to push yourself to take calculated risks and face new challenges daily. The 5th way to guarantee failure kind of sticks on that point, and that is to surround yourself with yes men. If the people around you always agree with you, you're not being challenged. I remember growing up, I had this circle of friends who, one, they were kind of douchebags to me, but I allowed it because I didn't challenge myself. I wasn't growing. That was all I had. But now I surround myself with high-level mentors, CEOs, entrepreneurs. I also surround myself, by the way, with people who are just working regular jobs, but they have a great relationship with Christ, because that's very important to me. We all know this quote. Confucius once said, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. In fact, that is the basis of the Reborn Pack, a community I've built for like-minded men to grow together and to hone and sharpen one another. So while it might be difficult, seek out mentors, seek out friends who challenge you, who give you constructive feedback and push you to grow. The 6th way to guarantee failure is to not set clear goals. You can't hit a target you don't set. Without clear written goals, you're wandering aimlessly. I remember in the beginning of my journey, I had set a goal. Man, I want to make $1 billion. And this was when I had probably a couple hundred in the bank. I want to make $1 billion. But I had no way of reverse engineering that. Okay, I want to make $1 billion, let's say 10 years from now. What am I going to do for the next 9, 8, 7, and so on years? What am I going to do for the next month? What am I going to do for the next hour, the next minute? How am I going to make progress on a daily basis so that I can hit that one day goal? Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. This reminds me of a mentorship program I was in, paid about $30,000 to get into the mentorship program. And one of the things they taught us was that every single time someone on their team is doing a task, they record it, they log it. And so that way, if they're sick, if they get fired, if they have to leave for medical reasons or whatever, someone else can come in, fill their role, and be caught up immediately. Because guess what? Time is money. And so if you write the vision, you make it plain, another person who reads it can run with it. I highly encourage you to write down your goals, review them daily, and take small steps towards achieving them. I personally keep a journal and I write my weekly plan every single week with health, finance, family, business, and spiritual. What I'm going to do that week, and then I put those in my calendar. And those help me reach my weekly goal, my monthly goal, and ultimately my one-day goal. Okay, the 7th way to guarantee failure is one that we all know, and that is to scroll endlessly on your phone. Social media and endless distractions kill your productivity. And most people don't know this, but back a few years ago, I had a social media business. And it was so hard because I ran theme pages where I was posting memes, and that was the business. That was what I did to earn money. But it became so hard to not just scroll on my phone, scroll memes all day after making my posts. And ultimately, I ended up shutting that business down. I was doing about $10,000 a month because I realized how bad it was for my mental health and my ultimate productivity in reaching my long-term goals. Jim Quick said, your attention is the most valuable asset you have, and could he be more right? Ephesians 5:16 says, making the best use of the time because the days are evil. Set boundaries for social media use and schedule focused, productive time without distractions. I personally don't like multitasking. I will not eat. I will not walk with a phone with me. I find peace in those silent moments where some people are like, man, you have to be productive 24. To be productive, you also have to have silent time. You also have to have time to think. So there you have it. 7 surefire ways to fail at life and business. But here's the good news. Every single one of these is within your control to change. You have the power to flip the script and rewrite your story today. Don't just watch this and do nothing. Take action. And before I let you go, I want to invite you to join our free community. Surround yourself with like-minded people who will push you to grow, challenge you to be better, and help you stay consistent. The link's in the description below. Join us and let's grow together. Peace.